Hello and welcome to the Indie Bandits Twitch stream and later YouTube channel. We're back with another indie impressions for yous. Joe here, and I'm joined by Jimmy and Archie today.
Hello.
All right. Oh,
Oh, coordinated.
What was
This is
the James?
I know.
the
We hadn't
most
planned that as
coordinated
well.
The most coordinated will be all evening, I believe. So, we're playing this one because this was your action adventure game from the podcast, if I'm not mistaken, Archie.
I believe so.
And you were very fond of it, if I'm not mistaken.
I do like this game.
And before we get into it, I think we'll say it's got some. Well, it has a warning that you'll have missed because we didn't start streaming at the very start screen. That there is psychosis in it, and from the podcast, Archie, you said it was very tastefully done, and there's apparently a lot of research behind it.
Well, from what I remember, it was very tastefully done. But yes, I remember the development team spent a lot of time looking at this, speaking with people who were professionals on the subject, just to make sure they did it, with taste.
Okay.
And
Well,
as far as I'm aware, there's been very few to no complaints about how this psychosis is represented within this game.
That's
So-
quite rare in the world of video
Well,
games and online opinions.
Maybe
Yeah.
there was, but it never came to my attention. But yeah, it seems like it's a good indicator that it was probably quite tastefully done. They executed it rather well.
okay, excellent. Shall we dive into it?
Aye.
Let's have a blast. Cool. This is all Celtic stuff, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Looks it.
Yeah, it's very on the nose. Is there a big cutscene at the start, Archie?
No. You are in a boat and you push the boat forward. So I guess it's kind of like a controlled cutscene, you know.
Hello.
Oh,
Who are
hello.
you? Doesn't matter. Welcome. You're safe with me. I'll be right here, nice and close, so I can speak without alerting the others. Let me tell you about Senua. Her story.
It's a good-looking game.
It's a good looking log, that, isn't it?
It is. That's a mighty fine log she's found herself.
I mean, we should caveat this. Like, this is like from Ninja Theory, who this is probably one of their only, at least now. I mean, when they made this, they were acting independently from a publisher, so they weren't really relying on anybody else but themselves to get this done. Ninja Theory now are owned by Microsoft, so they couldn't be like further away from being an independent company now. So, but yes, this is they had a lot of like development skills already in place when this game was being developed. So I can't imagine many other indie companies, many upstarts, will be able to deliver the visual quality this game currently has. Because look at that, that
It's
looks
a few
fucking
years
great.
old as well, right?
This is 2017. I want to say this game came out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so
a lot
cool.
of photo scanning in this.
Oh, first credit. Sorry, the mental health advisor.
They've been around
That's
And
pretty
historical advisor. That's pretty
awesome. Pretty awesome to
Yeah.
give them like the first
some are old,
the first name drops in this.
I think as well as that, a little bit of like reaffirming to people that like we have done research behind this. We're not just
darkness changed
What a
sort of
guessing.
messing about with a sensitive subject.
Yes, but it's also I like the fact that they like credited them. Whereas when you play Assassin's Creed, they just say like we're a multicultural team, so don't get annoyed as we like shit on all these different religions at once in a game. But then they don't credit the like religious advisor right at the start, do they? They're just like
No.
Ubisoft game or whatever.
It is real after all.
I mean, like the way this game works, which you probably won't be able to hear because us
I
three
can
will be
hear it.
talking over it, is that the psychosis part of it comes in through your comes in through the sound,
Yep,
but
come
it's
from
amplified by
headphones.
using like headphones, so you kind of get kind of different volumes and different voices through your left and right ear
Yeah,
at different times.
I'm getting
yeah.
all of that, and not just used to. It's no,
And
it's
it's
quite
used
mental.
incredibly well. And often it is, from what I can remember, it's used to kind of like disorientate you. And when you're in a combat situation, and the combat in this, from what I can remember, is pretty brutal. It does sort of play on you a little bit, so it's been incredibly effective in that way.
Yeah.
Don't always lie still.
There's a lot of it. There's a lot of it coming in at the minute.
This is not a place of rest.
Oh, I can hear a little bit there.
Oh, go on.
I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
They're going to do that to you. Can you see
I'm
that?
getting it full on. It's difficult to talk at the same time because it is like like voices in your head. It's
It's a cheery place, this, isn't it?
No, I mean, this game, you know, like how there's the term like grimdark for like fantasy books. This is, I think that'd be a term that would apply to this game, where the the setting, the purpose, and the story of the character and what they're going through is all very bleak.
yeah.
There's very little hope to be found throughout this entire like journey.
Oh, that was a little crack of thunder. You was getting that? This is the point where I'm not sure if it's in the game or in like real life. If you get me, like I didn't know if that was like an external thing, that there is like currently thunderstorms happening.
Do it by now after so many years.
I didn't
Does-
hear it, but I can't hear a huge amount of the...
No.
Yes, it's very quiet for me.
It just builds onto itself.
I mean, I think what's great about this game, I think it just goes to show what can hire, like, you know, previously I would guess they were like a AAA developer. They were working on what was it? They did a Devil May Cry game, the American, I guess the English Devil May Cry game. A game called Enslaved that had Andy Serkis in, and something called Heavenly Sword, which also had Andy Serkis in
That's all you need to see.
from way back in the day. War Golem.
Was this not Andy
So the-
Serkis pushing the log?
No,
No. She worked at the studio, didn't she?
she did. Yeah.
I mean, obviously she worked at the studio. Everyone who worked on the game worked at the studio, I imagine. But you get me? Like,
But no,
she wasn't cast. She was just someone who worked at the studio, if I'm not mistaken.
She was a stand-in because I think she was
Yes.
like one of the video editors or one of the marketing team, and she was a stand-in for when they were eventually going to get another actress in to do the part. But apparently, she performed this so well that they just kept her.
Yeah.
I think she ended up winning like an award for this and everything, like as best gaming performance.
I think this did quite well at the BAFTAs, if I recall. It's
I hope so.
when I was picking this up, I think it said like BAFTA awarded. There's a game segment in the BAFTAs, isn't it? I know it's like, is it
Yeah.
film and television usually? But there's
no
all like
idea.
BAFTAs for games as well.
I think, yeah. But yeah, like they'd established themselves as a AAA company, and they'd obviously built their tools up over a long time, and they kind of had a really thorough understanding of how everything worked. They had like modified, I think it was the Unreal Engine that was made to use this.
This was
To-
this was on Unreal, yeah.
Yeah, but it's all been modified because this team has a thorough understanding at this point of what to do, and I think it's great. Like they can like downsize their team to a smaller size. I think this game had an incredibly small budget comparative to kind of like the AAA going at the time, and I really don't think this looks any worse than a AAA game. To be honest,
No, it doesn't. It looks fantastic.
look at that, man! How good does that look?
I think they've done a really good job with like understanding the limitation as well with the backgrounds and things. Like a lot of it is hidden in like haze, but it doesn't distract from. It actually makes the backgrounds look even nicer. You know, they've
Yeah.
clearly not had to like do like huge draw distances or
Yeah.
anything because a lot of it is covered by fog, but it adds a certain feeling to the game that suits it.
Back to your work.
Yeah, like everything's enclosed, probably to keep everything running at frame rate. But yeah, it's incredible art direction to kind of like have this. You know, it's obviously an enclosed area, but it doesn't feel it. It feels, you know, to me at least, pretty open, pretty alive.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. That looks fucking fantastic.
And I think we should. I should caveat this with my PC is not like some like amazing machine. It's really hard to say when
She
people
needs
are
to
like,
focus now. She needs to use her
"Oh
eyes.
man, all the voices are going like cack-a-hoop in my head." It's
Yeah, it's pretty horrible, isn't it?
it's really good. I don't know what the buttons are.
Do not forget my story, Senua. Because your darkness comes from hell.
So we won't be able to hear this properly, but these kind of, I think, from what I remember, they like tell the story of the Norse people, like within her clan, or maybe it is just a bit of a history lesson in like what was going around around these times. And
So it's like Norse rather than Celtic then.
you know what,
I
it's
think
been so long
it's-
since I've played it. I think it is Norse.
It looks more Norse now. The original
Yeah.
symbol looked quite Celtic, but now it looks a little bit more Norse themed.
Come, do not forget my story, Senua.
It was so good, Joe wanted to listen to it again.
No, I accidentally released the button and then it made it start again. He said, "Don't forget the story," but you're gonna have to be the guide in this case, Archie. Have a little pot around.
I think she's an incredibly well designed character as well. Like, you know, I think a lot of like characters in, I guess the AAA again, like are very generic looking. Like, especially with like guys usually have what is it, the shaven head for some reason, and maybe a bit of stubble.
I think they can sometimes feel a bit over the top as well, whereas this one
Yes,
feels a little more
like-
kind of. I mean, obviously she's wearing some pretty wacky outfits, but it feels like it would be, that's how someone would look back then as a, as a female warrior, I guess, of some sort.
I guess there's always just need to maybe make your main hero look, for the lack of a better term, like a badass.
Yeah.
And not to say she doesn't look like that, but there's something kind of like she's not necessarily like super muscular or anything like that. It looks like
More
she could
sort
be
of grounded in reality, isn't it?
Yeah, she's not obsessed with her own image, I think, is the problem. Like, most people look
Yes.
like they're trying to be really cool. She is not having a good time. And this is... Just check the old heart rate monitor. Yep, that's higher than rest. You're right about, like, the intensity, Archie. Obviously, I'm getting, like, the first-hand, like, audio in me headphones. And it is... That ramped up a little bit there. I'm glad
bit of sunlight for you.
I
A bit
needed
of
that. I needed that. That was a nice
your
reprise. Man,
nice skybox.
all about that skybox, are you?
Hey, get a good skybox makes a world of difference.
It is a fantastic looking game, and
Check it out, man.
Yeah.
I was concerned about you were concerned about my machine running this, Archie, and you were right, because this is not the normal crack on that my computer has to run with us, like, regularly playing indie games on it.
Yeah, but even that, look at like the detail on like the fabric and like the it's like the fur around her neck and everything, and even like the hair.
The
And look at the
dreadlocks.
the dreadlocks, but the bottom of her, like the top of her neck, where it is
That
more
little
kind of,
fluff.
I guess, like fluff or stubble or whatever it might be. It's just, I don't know, it's just got this unbelievable attention to detail on the character, but in the performance as well. Like, you rarely see something like this good.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Like a neck
Great.
going as she breathes and, like, finds her breath.
Just like the eye movement, the expressions on her. It's none of it feels like generic. It all looks like it's very bespoke. I can imagine it is.
Beautifully animated, though. I assume it's
Look at that.
animated. I mean, it's mocap, isn't it? I mean,
It'll be a mixture of both, like bit of mocap, bit of
that's how-
animation to kind of tidy it up.
well, that's how. Yeah, I was gonna say that's how mocap works, isn't it? They, like, animate over what the motion capture gets for them, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, a lot of the times the stuff that comes back from motion capture is usually quite I wouldn't say generic, but it does need like a lot of like work to try and like tidy it up to make it look this good.
Well, don't they
So
normally
it-
just
it-
end up with dots? Is that not like the idea? Like,
Well, no, they,
markers?
they bind it to a character, and once it's bound to the character has its kind of like, it's, I guess it would be considered like the first passive movement, but it still needs like tidying up.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of like animation work to get it to the quality it is now. So it's a nice kind of like, I'd say, I wouldn't say 50-50, I'm not too sure myself. It's probably different for every studio. But it's a lot of work on both of the actor playing her and the more frame to frame animators going in and tidying it up afterwards.
What did me buttons do? Sorry, I'm just. R2 is the classic.
The old fool said there was a hidden
Soak it up.
Have a look at that.
What's it really like?
Oh, I've got a little jog button. Sorry, I wish I'd known that.
It's the hustle button.
Looks like it could be up your street list streams, I think, in terms of its setting.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Jimmy's a big history buff, aren't you, Jim? And more
Do
of
like
the
my history.
more of the older times, not the modern contemporary bollocks. Not that you're averse to all contemporary history, but you know what I mean. The classics, I think. Is it classics?
Ancient history.
Ancient history, thank you. Yeah.
Aye, the made up stuff.
Well, actually, in some cases, yes.
Hang on, is there a... Oh, is that a ladder?
Like, yeah, I think the biggest criticism I would like to throw at this game is that, despite all its, like, I think its ambition with its, like, themes and its kind of, what it's trying to do and the visual fidelity of the entire game is that, the gameplay can become a bit shallow at times, especially in the earlier parts of the game.
It is a little
And
bit walkie sim at the minute. In terms of...
it's very much a walking simulator. That doesn't bother me, but I think if it's a walking sim from start to finish, at least you know that. But when they start to put puzzles in, and there does become a point where you're getting like a reuse of similar puzzles and similar like ideas for each puzzle, that you sort of feel like, oh right, this is becoming a bit more too much of a game and less of an experience.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, for me, that's the only thing I could even like fault this game for, really. I know when it came out, it had like quite a few bugs that really dampened it for some people. Like certain doors wouldn't open, certain like puzzle elements wouldn't be spawning in, and that like really fucked it for some people.
Yeah,
Thankfully, I never got that. So
well, this is the thing I get with a lot of games when people are talking about like game breaking bugs. Maybe I'm lucky, but I don't tend to get them very often.
no, same.
Like games that are like renowned for having game breaking bugs as well. Like I've played a lot of games that get a lot of flack on the internet for having game breaking bugs and crashing at like inopportune moments. And I'm just lucky enough to always have avoided that.
Yeah, like I remember people would go on about Skyrim about that, but I only found the bugs that I found in Skyrim were just hilarious ones. Like you'd be walking along and a horse would just go flying past your head. And I was like, that's just hilarious. That's just funny. Yes, it's a bug, and I guess you kind of wish it wasn't there, but still, like, it's funny. It's not game breaking.
It's good to see you again. You kept your vow.
It's very cinematic. It's
Yeah, this is very much a cinematic kind of. You watch a lot of the time and play some of the time type of game. I'm sure that's an actor. I don't think that's a 3D character there. I'm sure that's a live action bit of footage.
I'm listening.
what would you
Look
say
too
the
good,
split
you know.
is? Gameplay to
Oh god,
watching?
55-45 maybe.
What game
From what I
to
can remember.
watching or watching to game?
Oh, that's gameplay to watching. I think it's a very even split, but I could be wrong. Someone correct me on that. It's been a long time again, but I don't mind. I like cutscenes. I like playing games and watching something as a wee reward.
I generally tend to prefer games that have more gameplay than cutscenes, but if it's a engaging story, I guess I wouldn't be adverse to it.
For me, it depends on my mood. I tend to get an awful lot
Alright.
of... oh, sorry, Archie.
Here's your first puzzle, which you're going to see this method happening a lot. So you've got to try and
I've seen
replicate
that symbol.
that kind of shape using like the environment.
Right, so it's
And they put these kind of these particles
around.
around you to
There it is. Do I have to like look at it?
you have to just line it up. There you go.
Yeah, that's what. It's a bit
Hope
the
you like doing-
witness, wasn't it? I assume that's done.
Yes.
It's like I have to go find it. Yeah, but now he
There you go,
looks
done.
and the door looks happier. Yeah, it's for
I hope
me,
you like
it's-
doing that, Joe, because you're going to have to do that a few more times before this game's finished.
Either like they're giving us jip about being a failure, but I flipping smashed it with that door. Like, you know, there's all these like doubts
like
in my
the,
head, but tell you what though,
I know.
she
Look
should have
at
brought
this
a brolly.
game.
I know.
I know.
It looks. It is like.
Like we've spoken about this on the podcast before, and I think we were speaking about this today, just between ourselves, like not on the mic or anything, about games costing too much. And I think this is a game that looks amazing, and fair enough, it might not be your 30-45 hour experience, and it's probably quite limited in the potential like a big open world like game might do, but this game's very good. It looks amazing, and it probably needed to sell less than 1 million copies in order to make bank. And it surpassed that, like, you know, immensely. I just kind of wish AAA would maybe like look at this and like smaller, more condensed experiences that don't cost $300 million to make.
Well, I'd want to say like quality over quantity, but I'd much prefer that they
100%.
did just a lot of games, which is technically quantity, I guess. A lot of games, but like shorter experiences.
On the edge.
Like I very much enjoy like the single player on COD, and I think you do as well, Archie.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And they're
It's
only
great.
like 6 to 10 hours in a lot of cases. Oh, I'm not having a good time here.
Little slip.
Shh, voices.
You can't just wish things away.
Yeah, it's like obviously a lot. We all like good-looking games. I don't think anybody can deny that. But I don't think all good-looking games have to be super, super expensive.
The giantess.
No.
Hela.
Well, I think they need to think more about the bloat, don't they? I think there's like I like a restaurant with like a small menu. Like
Yes.
obviously not a place that only does one thing. But
No,
you know,
just
you
does a
like
few things very well rather than like 25 things averagely.
Yes.
Yeah, have you ever been to like a restaurant for tourists on the Costa del Sol where the thing is
Yeah.
like a laminated menu with like 300 items on it and there's pictures for everything because people don't know how to speak the local lingo, so they just point at it, and that's why they exist. But there's like 300 things and you're like, when a restaurant's menu looks like a tome, I'm like, I think all of these things get cooked in exactly the same way.
They're probably already being cooked. They're just about to
Yeah.
go into
Go in the
like a
microwave.
microwave or something.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is. I mean, obviously, this is probably like more people than most of the games we play were on the team for this. You know, I think it was probably a bigger team, and as you said, Archie, they've since been.
I'll find out. I'm quite curious now because I used to know this off the top of my head because I was just a bit obsessed with this game and kind of like I guess a creepy creative kind of way. But I'm gonna try and find like let's see, get the budget.
Oh, I just got an
Right, do you wanna-
achievement. The
Okay.
most obvious achievement name ever, called "The Fight Begins." I assume I'm about to have a fight. Go on, Archie. how many
Okay,
people
right.
are
Do you
there?
want to guess? Do you want to guess how? Like, this is an approximate guess. Not so much a guess, but probably based on the credits and all that. How many people do you think worked on this game? And this is an approximate number. It's not an exact number.
I'm
Can
gonna
you
go
give
with
us an
200.
idea of
I'm gonna say 200.
how many people tend to work on a AAA game?
On a AAA game, I think The Last of Us had about 500 people working on it. Call of Duty's probably around about the same. I think something like an Ubisoft AAA game, you're probably going to get 200 to 300 people.
All right.
That's probably like a dev team. That wouldn't include maybe
Marketing.
an external QA.
all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
people, all the
Well, it
collaborators.
might not include external QA, which can be a substantial team size. It's
And
like-
you're asking for like an entire team, but this is an indie studio, right? At this point,
this was an indie product from a studio that had gone indie at the time.
Right.
Yeah, so yes, I guess it was an indie studio.
25.
Okay,
go with
what do you think,
100.
James?
I'm
You're gonna go for 100. James wins. The approximate number of people working on this game was 20 people.
Jeez.
That's incredible.
Let's.
You know what?
They might have
Imagine we got
fudged the
like
numbers.
17 other mates together, Archie. Like if we,
Mm-hmm.
and you, James, as well. You can be involved in this as well. Imagine if we got like 17 other mates together. We couldn't even choose a pub to go to. Like,
Oh, I know.
it,
Do you want to
incredible.
guess what the budget was for this game? The first number that came up on Google for this game.
I'm gonna need some context again, Archie. What's a typical budget for a
Sure.
AAA?
So let's say I am going to imagine the people who were working on the game were expert level. Like these people, I'm only guessing. I don't think they would have had junior staff on board. So expert level people are probably very expensive. Let's say their pay per year is probably ranging from like 35 to 50,000. I'd guess. But let's say for your AAA budgets, you're thinking GTA 5 costs $300 million. I think Last of Us Part 2 costs approximately, these are only numbers that I've seen, so they're all estimates, they're not exact numbers. Last of Us 2 was about $150 million.
5 mil.
Okay?
I'm pressing some buttons. Sorry.
10.
James wins again. $10 million approximately. Which is a huge... Like $10 million is like... You would never turn your nose up at that. Like a game like Celeste, something we've talked about in the past, would not have cost $10 million. It probably costs like 250,000 if that. Like, but again, your game costs $10 million. You probably only need to sell like 500,000 to make massive profit off of that.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, it's no small amount. Like the average indie developer's not going to have anywhere near that level of
Yeah.
budget to make a game. But yes, in context to how good it looks compared to a AAA game, they can obviously achieve a lot for a lot less.
exactly, yeah.
Getting the most out of what you've got, I guess, would be the achievement.
Yeah, and I think this game's a great example of that, to me at least. I mean, this is like, what were they calling themselves at the time? Like, triple I. It's like, it's, you know, you
Yeah, I
can't
saw
go...
that.
Of
yeah.
independent.
Yeah, you can't go much further than this before you become like a AAA product. It's
That's Saw that expression
dark.
knocking around earlier today.
Oh, did you?
Triple I.
Triple I. Well, triple I. I actually love the combat in
I was
this.
gonna say, what is the combat like? Because obviously I'm only just watching it. What does it actually play
I
like?
don't really know. The game's not like a tutorial kind of crack on, so it's I'm kind of just working my way through it, but I'm dead.
It's not something you can button bash your way through, I remember.
No, but I don't know any of the buttons do, and obviously I don't want the game to like totally pander to me. But tell me what buttons do what. I assume this was meant to happen then, I'm guessing.
It might have been, yes.
I was gonna say, I felt like that was a fight I wasn't gonna win.
Say her arm looks like mine did the other day when I cut my finger.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
she
it's
wasn't
horrible.
probably playing with an actor fry though when it happened. Oh,
Imagine if James looked like this after his actor fry incident.
Yeah, you didn't
I'm
see the
calling-
picture.
I'm calling it an actor fry.
That's rotten up there, look at
I
that.
know.
She's dead.
Or is she? This seems to be still happening.
Yes, this might have been a,
A vision of what's to come.
Oh no. That was
Senua,
an interesting
the
plot
dark
device,
vessel
wasn't
of
it?
our
Her
father.
seeing herself die. I assume that's what just happened. Unless I've completely
yeah.
misread it. That looked like
Oh,
that.
that just happened in her head, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like she visioned herself dying, but
It will spread
I don't think
towards
it's something
her
that
head,
really happened.
the seed of the soul.
What's good as well, like I think like Death has his, like I mean again look at the dirt. Oh, she's got like scratches on her arm as well. Fuck,
Yeah.
I didn't realise that further up.
Because she's got like
rotten.
I think she's like been obsessively scratching her arm.
Yeah.
But like
But,
Death on the character has like a visual representation as well, and it kind of like consumes her arm the more you die throughout the game. I love that. I remember when
Clever
this
way of
came
putting
out.
it in.
Yeah, like when this game came out, like in order to like engage people even more, like the devs just told this. Yeah, it was this. The dark rot will grow each time you fail.
So you can't fail the game, you just get more
Dead.
of that rot on your arm.
Yeah, like this thing they're telling you right now, as far as I
Right,
know, was a
got you.
complete lie. It was just a way of like making you just more engaged with everything, and it fucking worked. It's like, do you know the series Fargo at the start of every series? Because they know the show is quite eccentric. They all say it's based on a true story, but it's not.
Yes, yeah.
But if you're none the
Right.
wiser, you're like, what? This actually happened, and you just
Yeah.
take it all in and believe it. It's,
Oh, a
it's
bit
kind
like
of that.
Blair Witch did, like found footage
Yeah.
films do as well. With the like subverting reality in a way.
It's a little white lie that actually goes a long way to help support the game, I think.
But for now, at least, she still
Oh,
has
she's
control
serious
of her
now.
mind. And she will fulfill her vow.
Imagine for like most developers, like people who want to get into games, I think this would be like a dream project to work on in a way, because I don't know, it feels like pure creativity. Like
Yeah. I like how
It's
they've
very
decided to
aspirational.
go with
Go on.
the dreadlocks on her hair, though. I'm assuming again, design
historically accurate.
decision, but also like to make it look good graphically requires a lot less than to create someone who has like
Luscious hair.
non-dreadlocked hair as well. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Well, I don't know because it seems like they've still went with like all the fur and other stuff that's like quite graphically intensive. So I don't know if the matted hair is could purely be for historical accuracy.
it could be, yeah, it could be, or it's just like actually that's one thing we can make look really good without worrying too much about how hard that's going to be to make look good. We've got a lot of
Yeah.
other things to try and make look really good here.
the big thing they probably would have had a problem with is, and this might sound ridiculous, but I had a programmer friend who would speak to me about again, I bring Last of Us 2 up all the bloody time, but like there was a character who had a ponytail on that, and apparently programming something like that is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. I can imagine like just how detailed the hair has to be, and then all the movements of it and everything. Like this, they can keep it. All the hair on our actual head doesn't move, so that's like handy. And then it's the big block of hair behind. So
It's clever. I imagine her ponytail though in this is it's probably tied into her animations, and I think like goes probably just easier to put like an animation rig under that, and just have some animators go in and just build it based on the animation she's doing at the time.
Yeah, like the hair
rather
won't
than
react
having
to
a
physics, like
dynamic,
if I do here.
flowing piece of hair.
Yeah, like the hair will react the same way no matter what I do. It's like it's a set animation every time she makes a movement.
But you
rather
can
than
get away with it
reacting
because
to
it's heavier. It's like it won't react as much with wind because it's a heavy clump of hair, like matted hair with like rings in it and things. So
Yeah.
it's like a clever way of adding design and authenticity, but also being able to, and I do not mean this in a bad way, but like cut a corner.
Yeah.
Well, cut a corner where a corner can be cut, if you get me. It's
Yeah.
like work smart, not hard.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
They haven't made a worse product by cutting this corner. They've allowed
No.
themselves to more wisely allocate resources, time, and better the experience because of their choices.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the character doesn't suffer, nor does the graphic quality. So
I mean, excuse me, sorry, but you can tell like where they're kind of like making concessions in this game. Like everything is like 3 steps, then there's then there's a new corner, and it's all like, oh, we got to load in this new part of the environment now because it will probably crash if we don't, or the frame
Well, we're
rate
not
will
getting
drop.
any massive vistas, are we? Except at that bit earlier. Oh, hello. Let's have a decent at that. I've seen him before.
Illusion
That
hides
symbol.
the path to Balram.
a circle.
Don't trust me.
What?
Just when you said I've seen him before, there was a circle on the screen.
Ah, right.
I remember that shape.
Yes, I've been watching Sesame Street this morning.
Hang on a second.
Well, also this crack on around the edge of the screen. I assume like that's not very intensive in terms of graphics because it's probably just like an overlay or a filter type crack on, if you get me.
Yeah, that'd be a post-processing thing, I'd imagine. An on-screen camera render.
Yeah. So there's nothing like extra. This doesn't.
It's quite disorienting though.
Which is it's doing its job, isn't it? It's,
Yeah, exactly.
There's a creepy tree. Oh no, is it?
Hey, there's one of them circle sort of things again, Joe.
I know, I've seen this before. It's an archway. I don't know why. I just thought walking through it would be the way to go. There we go. Did it twice.
It's funny.
Oh, here we go. Is this the doors that change the environment?
Mostly
I
just
think if you walk on one side, it's different.
really there.
Oh, you mean like?
So yes, something might have changed, but maybe this
Oh, there
happens
it is.
later
It's
in the
open.
game.
There you go.
Yeah.
That thing's open. Crack.
I mean, this is just the most archy game ever. I just love this game to bits.
Yeah. No, it does seem it's completely up your alley. It's got like that was like sort of PT
that.
in its like sort of like suspending
Yeah.
the rules of physics for a bit, just for like creepy, disturbing fun. Ooh, my PC did not like
It's
that
got
for a
like,
bit.
is it respectful to say like light horror elements in there? Like there's something quite, I guess, unnerving about the whole thing. It's pretty dark.
The
looks
surreality,
amazing.
as it were. It's just like
Yeah.
that's what PT did a lot, wasn't it? Like walking through a corridor and then ending up back in the same corridor is like that's
I mean, look at that.
so weird that it freaks me out a bit.
But the game
Yeah,
is a lot of this. Sorry, James. Wait, I totally spoke over you.
They've been very, very clever with how they can make these environments look really good, but again, not.
Like all these massive shadows.
Yes, like it
Covering
adds, and like
everything.
that huge like sunbeam that came through when he walked into the environment just like covered the background up, so like they can concentrate on like making front and center look amazing, make the background look atmospheric, and it all like your brain puts it all together. Like they don't need to render it all because your brain's doing all the work putting it together. It's very cleverly done.
And I think this is what you don't get in most open world games. I mean, there's some open world games like that. What's it called? The gorilla game with the robot dinosaurs. Horizon. I mean, that game looks spectacular, and and Cyberpunk just came out, and I think despite its flaws, when it looks good, it looks very, very good, and something like GTA and stuff. But I don't think they can put the level of attention into each piece because the things are so vast. But I think I prefer like these smaller games, and I think we all do, where each thing you're coming up to has more focus on it.
Yeah.
So there's more like detail in the environment. Each environment might tell a bit more of a story of what's going on there, and I just prefer that.
You know, the human brain is quite a powerful thing, and they're obviously relying on it in this game to like put a lot of this stuff together. For not saying that the designers haven't done an amazing job, obviously they have, but you know what I mean. Like they are also relying on like
It does the heavy lifting for you.
filling in the gaps for you. Like we're filling in the gaps that we don't even realize necessarily aren't there because of the clever design work.
Like, even these guys look fucking class. Like these horrible, like, what is it, like deer, like sheep-headed, or is it like
I
ram's
don't
head or
know,
something?
but
What do
I
you
remember
look
I had a
like?
load of our art classroom always had one of these skulls in it.
Yeah, I always did as well.
Yeah, is that like an art thing? Is that, if you're going to study art in school, do you have to like have one of these
Sacrifice a lamb.
All right, so this.
That's.
Well,
Oh.
So it's very block dodge kind of fighting as far as I
yeah,
can remember.
it's a lot of. Yeah, she said, "Watch out!" Was avoiding that crack on.
But you can do, it doesn't tell you anything, which I kind of like, but I can understand why that would annoy somebody. But you can do like running attacks and everything,
yeah,
and it
that's
has a different
L1.
animation preset. Like, look
Yeah.
at that!
Yeah. Oh, should I give
great.
it a big crack on with a? Oh no, how did I do it? Hold it. Oh wait, right, that did not work. That's probably why I was sticking at the other one, because I tried that in the first fight. The only problem with like combat systems where it doesn't tell you stuff is the idea, like you said, that
Look at that.
that I can do that move. But I probably wouldn't have tried it again unless you hadn't said that it's class Archie, because I'd sort of like learnt my lesson by it failing the first time round. And as a
Yeah, I
player,
get
you're
that.
always gonna like lean towards the stuff that works. Especially if you've had something like fail before and the game hasn't sort of encouraged you to keep using it. Like the tapping square. Right.
Is the objective to just keep killing this thing, or you gotta do something else? Because
Well,
it
that's
just
what I'm
seems to respawning. Ooh, it's a bit of a karate.
It
kick
might be a
now,
few of them. It might be kind of like an enemy corridor kind of situation, which again this game kind of does a little bit as well. But the combat isn't too common.
I just got some feedback in my ear of them saying
Yeah, okay, you're done.
anticipate the moves. Yeah, that was it. They sort of.
I think one of the pluses of maybe not being told your moveset is that it might allow you to think like the moveset isn't as limited as the stuff that's been given to you. So it might encourage, like it did to for me at least, like to like just experiment a little bit more. And the combat might be as shallow as anything, but because I didn't know every single like
Button
move
prompt,
on like a
yeah.
sheet somewhere, it felt more vast.
Like it allows for discovery, I reckon. That's
Yeah.
like you were saying, Archie, like it hasn't told us what the buttons to do, so every so often I'll just randomly press one hoping it does something cool. It was that symbol I recognised, by the way, Jim. There was a circle there before. Right, so we've got to go off and oh hello. Get in.
Enough one of these, yes.
Oh, I've got the old filter on it. It's like AR games do a bit of that crack on, don't they? Like find the shape. Oh, I thought you could climb up there. Yeah, I've got the whirly durly on, whatever this is. Oh, but when I looked at him, I had
this game.
Yeah, see, I'm getting like the reminder. I assume that's a reminder, that like sort of filter over the screen when I look to like find that crack on again. That's how I pot around.
That's your objective essentially, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
But it's so. I know you said this is kind of repetitive, and I'll probably get sick of it. Like later on in the game, this is like only the second time I've done it, but it is a very nice, subtle way to show your objective. Like whilst I'm holding R2, it like goes. Remember that pattern? Go have a look for it. It's a reminder, and you don't need to have like text on screen that says "Look for this symbol in the environment." It just comes up as a little overlay.
Drives me nuts. Like,
It's not treating the player like an idiot.
Yeah, it's show don't tell, isn't it? Or is it? No. Yeah, show don't tell.
show don't tell. Yeah. Tell don't show.
Well, that's a lot of open world games. Don't bother looking at this giant world we've created. Just follow your mini map to the objective marker.
I think you're going backwards through rather than forwards.
Yeah, I think the symbol would be quite near to where you got
Yeah.
the reminder.
Yeah. When you're near one of the objectives, I think there's like particles in the air that represent kind of the thing you're looking for.
On that
And when you go
crack
outside
one.
of that, they disappear.
Yeah. Here we go.
So what I'm wondering now, because Hellblade 2 had that like mad trailer, which was really fucking intense, where they're doing that like some kind of like ritual of some kind, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, and I'm hoping they can keep the kind of that like level of creativity and kind of ambition with the next one, and Microsoft's Rain.
Watchful
let's say.
eye.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
Hang on.
like,
There's a dude hanging from the thing that looks a bit like it.
I'm sure they will. I've liked nearly everything Ninja
Oh,
Theory's
I'm going to
done
force
from what I've
perspective
played.
here, aren't I? I'm going to have to get up
Look at
a
that.
height. That's
Get up
going to
a height.
force perspective. As I look down it, it's going to look like that symbol. So I'm going to have to potter up here or something. If I can climb. Is that a thing I can do?
Not there, Joe.
No,
Not there,
it's
pal.
the more obvious climbing direction. Does she have a climb button?
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's only in certain instances.
Yeah, it just...
Like she climbs when she can climb, essentially.
Yeah, there
But
must...
there's maybe one over there, pal.
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier. Is there something really obvious to climb up?
Is it that bit on the side there?
You think
Is
this
there? There should be like a button, I think.
I've seen X do stuff, or at least cross button or whatever you want to call it. Can I? Oh, she can
I just couldn't
creep under here. Am I getting stuck?
No, I think
Oh,
it's
what
getting
the
stuck
hell?
and breaking the game. Get that bugged.
Sorry, Senua.
Oh, I found a bug 0 out of 10. Will not play this crap game ever again.
Must
I
have
think
been
it's
made by
X,
CG
or-
Project Red. Yeah, that's what I was doing. Maybe this is...
That rhymed, that Archie. You were sort of rapping about bugs.
Was that?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Well, why didn't you join in, James?
Maybe
You
I
said,
would-
Could have been a bit of a Beastie
just
Boys
found a
Yeah,
thing.
bug,
the
0
other
out
way.
of 10. I won't play this game ever again.
Here we go.
Son.
What?
What? Say what?
Nah, that's definitely from the other side. Maybe... Oh, it'll be a walk through this dude, won't it?
But
Right.
maybe from the other
Have
side.
views changed? Yeah.
There you go.
I've
No,
got to
Joe, you
walk
have it.
through... No, I have to walk through this bit. So that stays
Ta-da.
open. I went around the gateway and it meant I couldn't do it.
Sorry, I thought that was a jump button. Potentially, there is not.
Nah, she just claims our shit on her Todd.
I hope Hellblade 2 isn't like a looter shooter open world.
Cosmetic
MOBA.
bollocks. Here we go. Here we
Oh my
go.
god.
Free to play MOBA.
There we go. Oh, nearly. There we go. Sorted that
Do you
out.
fellas know that they made like a MOBA of like Legacy of Kain like a year ago?
And it failed. Oh no, the
I
one
think
that never
yeah, I
got
think
made.
it. No, it came out, but I think it did flop. Like,
Ah.
I don't know anybody who played it.
I've
if
never
did
heard
come
of it.
out.
No, I knew they were doing this thing called Nosgoth many moons ago.
Yeah.
Which fully got cancelled, but I didn't know they were...
Oh, maybe it
Doing
did
one
get
like it.
cancelled then.
Are you not thinking of Nosgoth, the big like open world thing, that multiplayer open world thing that they were doing?
Yeah. It was gonna be that was the MOBA, and they had like another one in the works as well, which got cancelled, called like Dead Sun or something.
The world
Alright. No, I didn't
Yeah.
know
looks
that.
the same, but
I remember seeing the footage for that, the leaked footage, and I no disrespect to the developers and put a lot of work into it, but it was not the Legacy of Kain I
That we all
would have
know.
wanted.
Yeah.
Like,
There's another one of these gadgets.
yes. So this is, I think, what I've spoken about, where the look at the puzzle from a certain angle.
It's very
Comes into
the
play.
witness. That'd be from t'other angle, won't it be? But do I have to look at that first so it tells us? Yep, I have to look at the ring.
I think you've been put into like a larger environment now, to try and throw you off.
Yeah, it's a cool game though.
Ah, you would say that.
Oh, now the things glow. That's a little on the nose. I think I'd sussed that before, but I guess not. I mean, like, it's still nice, but yeah, I know what you mean. It seems to be like the fact that those things glow now is a little like, oh, I wish that had just let me work that out on my own. Still gonna
I
struggle.
think
to sort
now
it,
the puzzle is how to get the correct viewing angle.
yeah, I've got a gun up there, but I assume there's a wee cheeky gate like this dude.
Come through. Ball.
If I look around it, is it different? No.
When you go through, if you approach from different angles, you get different like environments, I believe.
Yeah, there are like different worlds within these like gateways.
Yeah. So you can come it from front to back, then in the
So if
reverse
I go
as
like
well. I
that and then
believe.
pot around, it might be a different world.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in that gateway. Oh, swirly lighty lights. Don't know why she needs a strafe. I can't walk up there. Got to try and work out how she can pot her up there. But I'm in this side of the gate now, so I don't want to go back through it. Do I? Maybe I can pop her under here and see what the crack on is.
It's gone.
Go up the ramparts for a bit. There's a lot of crack on from the headphones now. Yep.
I think this must be like an environment artist's kind of like dream to work on this game.
Yeah. See
Yeah,
there,
man.
especially when
All
you
the
get to
shader
make these
work and
like
all this.
forced perspective puzzles. There's that rope, and I've got to get up there. So surely it's just this gauge, and then I just go.
Well, there's stuff over to the far side of this environment as well.
I
that
can
you
see
haven't
there's
got.
another gate up there. Look, straight over there. There's a double
Dun,
doo
dun,
super
dun.
gate thing. I'm thinking like maybe there's a one where if I go through it. Hang on, let's pop through here, see if it changes.
Might not change it for the other view.
I mean, like go through it this way and then come back round.
No, it's like because it's the way you view it, right? It's
Yeah,
not the direction through it you go. It's like what it looks like when you're looking through it. Yeah.
So what I really want to do is get up here and get over to him, don't I? That looks like he could be of use, that gateway over there. This is the like creepier mode, so maybe I can.
So this is the problem I had. Like when I got stuck, I think I might have got stuck in this one as well. Like where all the stuff that's supposed to be going on, all the intense stuff, starts to become like a bit like, oh right, it's just I just want to like concentrate now and get out of this environment because I've been here for too long.
Is that not the point though?
I guess it is, but I just didn't want to be stuck. Because I'm a pro gamer and everyone was laughing at me.
Yeah. Like, oh, this is quite a much bigger environment actually. No, I've came through here.
No, that's the way you came.
Yeah,
Do you know, I
yeah,
think you
yeah.
need like where you were before. You need to go like through the gate and
Oh, there it is. I
back
just
to
go
that
through-
like wee set of stairs.
Yeah. I was feeling that, but I was getting a lot of this crack on effect, so it made us feel like I was doing something right. Clearly not. Right, you think through this guy? This is like windy mode. If I come
Yeah.
through here, is it still windy? Oh, that was that's. I'm in the different bit now.
So if you go back down underneath that thing, like underneath the bit of wood down
Yeah,
there,
That's what I was-
has this environment changed substantially at all?
like,
uh,
what around here maybe?
Is the door open now? You couldn't. It didn't let you open that door before.
Yeah, that gate wasn't playing ball before, so maybe it is now. No, I feel like it's because there was a literal staircase that had changed when I walked through the thing. Like, see the staircase next to this gate. Like, hang on, you'll see.
Are you
Like,
supposed to maybe go
look,
just
there's
go
I can-
up there then?
Yeah, that's
Because
what I'm
that
thinking.
looks like you're supposed to go that way.
Isn't this where the big rock is though? Blocking you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about around here?
Ah!
Oh, I should have just turned left. Imagine that. Imagine the whole.
Oh
puzzle
my
being-
god, that thing's awful. How creepy is that?
I know. Man. It's like it's got
what
like
great
bird-like
character.
movements. So you might
Yeah.
have to
Stuff like
go-
that's awful. It's so
do I have to go
creepy.
chin him? There's something about things not being the right size as well. You know, like something that's like giant and bird-like. Do you remember? What was it Bug's Life? Remember how they are scared of the big bird thing?
Oh yeah. You mean the bird?
Yeah. But it's like because they're ants, it's like a giant bird, and then you realize like
Yeah.
a little cute little bird is like from their perspective terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. In this world, he's no bother, but if I go through that, he will be a bother, right?
I can't remember.
If you look
Let's
at
assume so.
So he's not
Maybe.
a bother there, but if I go through here, right,
And background.
he might be a bother. No, he's not.
I think it just opened up the path in front of you.
Yeah, we'll
like,
just
turn
ignore
around.
him.
Just go that way, yeah.
Should just follow the torches. I feel that's what they're doing. I'm just getting a bit edgy because that bird thing was creepy, and he's
It's
not.
horrible, isn't it?
And I know where
It's like,
he
yeah,
is.
it's just like good character design. Just like that looks like a coming near you, and you want to kind of like like kill if it tries having a go at you and everything. Like,
Aye, I just don't want
Tries
to have
having a go at you.
If he tries
Mate,
to, there he
give
is.
us 20 pence for me bus fare.
mate, what's in
I'm a
what's in your
diabetic
wallet? I
monster.
get to keep.
Senua, you better be looking at me or chewing on a brick, because either way you're gonna lose some teeth.
He's got a tune top on and everything.
He's drinking some special brew. Look, they've done this, so I keep seeing him, but he's not there. And
Great, isn't it?
no, they shouldn't
Just
be dicks about it. I'd
totally
rather just chill.
disorientates you, but in the right way, not like this makes no sense.
I think you have to use that gate again.
I don't want him. There's a scary bird dude on the other side of it. Look. Oh, he's pointing through it as well, so I should just.
Oh yeah,
He's like
so it
going,
is.
go that way, mate.
That way, mate.
If I look
Your
back
bus
at
is
you-
coming. Hurry up.
Forever change.
Yeah, you can see me getting. Oh, I can unlock this thing from this side now, can't I?
Well, isn't that just the other side?
Yeah, but I want to unlock it because it'll be a quick way back. That's the classic walking through the dungeon crack on, isn't it?
Yeah. And now if you go through the gates from before, it should allow you to access something in there, I'd imagine.
Go back through here.
So, like, there'll be a gate, I think,
There's
beyond
another
the one you've just opened that will allow you to come in here and see
From
this part
the
of the world
different
in a
angle,
different way.
yes.
Yeah.
After, going through, change the physical gates so now they're open, but gone back through the sheep skull gates, I guess. And then
Do you know what?
chin
What I am
some
curious about with this
Birdman.
game is that, obviously, like they probably we're thinking like, all right, what we're gonna make, we've lost our publisher, we're choosing not to go with a publisher this time round. We're gonna do it all ourselves. Well, maybe we can do a Norse game. I wonder at what point it was like, oh yeah, let's put in some kind of like element of psychosis into it as well.
Or then at
mean-
what point did they go, right, and then we'll do this like weird
yeah.
physics thing. I want to go through here, don't I, and go back in the creepy world.
Like,
Maybe because
Like,
they knew it was going to be a maybe character-centric game, and they weren't going to be able to put, major action scenes in and all that sort of stuff, and have. So they thought, well, let's just make it a compelling story. I don't know, and they thought, well, it's got to have some interesting. If she cannot, if her trials aren't going to be physical and stuff going on, then let's have one that's more of an internal struggle.
yeah, it must have been something like that, like where they're really putting the kind of the ideas and the themes and the story like ahead of seemingly like anything else.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like closeness to the character, if you get me. Like even like I know it's third person, and usually that's like the opposite, isn't it? Oh, he's helping us out. He says, "Gan, we're here." Oh, here we go. Thanks, mate. Don't be
have
a
a look
bird
through
man,
there,
though.
pal.
Don't be a creepy bird man when I look back. Cheers.
Must be magic, dark magic, a trick.
Oh, it's a
I
trick.
can
The
imagine
voice
there
is
might have been
gone.
like a let's put the psychosis thing on the maybe pile and we'll come back to it later. I imagine it would have taken some convincing for some people at least.
We'll probably just say, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this properly, so we're going to do a ton
Yeah.
of research into it.
It's an illusion.
Oh, the voices keep saying it's magic and it's an illusion, and that creeps me out. I forgot. I've went through so many times I can't remember what side I'm on now.
You keep going through the same way though, Joe, you keep going around, then yeah, this is and looks like it just loaded something in.
Okay.
So now I think you can go back.
I've got my eye on you. Oh no, it's pretty solid. No, but they've managed to they have this like weird closeness with the character, even though it is third person, where you think you'd be like more detracted or a bit like have a less of a connect with the main character by not being in first person, but in fact the fact that you're like constantly looking at her, like just taking up a large portion of the screen. The camera's very zoomed in. You're essentially here with her, if you get me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be now we're here.
I think the stairs have formed, Joe. Like to the left, I think something's changed here. To the right. Is that not different? I think directly in front of you now. Or am I just seeing it from a different
make my
angle?
way
Sorry.
up it.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but it looked like it might have changed.
I'll pop around and see what the crack on is.
And isn't it great that there's no waypoints? Like, bling, go here. Yeah, see,
There
these
you go.
stairs are taller now.
Fancier. Fancy stairs. And now I can
Probably
do my
short for
forced
new stairs.
perspective thing. Here we go.
There you go.
Boop.
The bandits triumph again.
Exactly. Pro gamers over here. See, I'm much better at these games than every other game we've played. As long as the games don't have like fail states. I mean, I know this one sort of does, but it hasn't really let me fail yet. I sort of like it. I've played an hour and I haven't really failed, even though the game is constantly telling me I'm going to. There hasn't been a like you've died yet. Guess I can just push my way through here. And that's the like swirly dirly section, isn't it? Because there was this one. Oh, maybe not. I thought this would loop us right back round to the doors.
And we think of a shadow in the woods.
Remember, there was like a main hall kind of crack on with that symbol and another one, and I went through this one.
Weird where that symbol.
Oh, see the voice in my head is saying exactly the same as the regular voice. Like,
There's a bit at the end of the game where I won't ruin it if you guys want to like play it even further, where there does become like a long
See that.
combat, and if you still were playing with the idea that you were killed after dying 7 times throughout the entire game, I just remember like the sweating buckets trying to like not let that happen. But the combat's harder, the voices are louder, and the music is like really intense.
mm-hmm.
And I just remember just like, oh fuck, this is like too much. Like I'm really like stressed.
As opposed to this, which is just a super happy place.
But now you can go at your own pace. So you're.
What is going on? Has that just changed?
That's all it
Oh,
combat
man.
time, baby.
What a bumhole. I'm gonna kick him. Right, should we do another run? Because I sort of like that move. Oh, big. Oh. Hang on, should I parry him? I think I've got a parry. Yeah. Nice.
I hope the sequel to this is good. I can't imagine it's going to have the same impact
Kung
as
Fu
this game
Panda.
did, but
No, because it's the first time round, isn't it? I think that's sort of the
Yeah.
plan, isn't it? It's, oh, shug, I thought
There's familiarity to it now.
I was kind of hoping this would just be the one and only. But I'm sure they've got an idea if they wanted to go
I'd have
make
a
second
fresh,
one.
like a fresh take on it. It's still her. Though,
I hope
isn't it? It's
so.
still Senua, right? Or if they've done it sort of
Called
like.
Senua
Oh,
Saga.
there's two other
So
gets. Damn it.
oh, this is where it heats up, Paul. It's where you've really got to start like bouncing around a bit more.
Yeah. Oh no, no, he's parrying. Oh, need to do the. Oh no.
Yeah, but it gives the impression that they're probably going to be making maybe a few more Hellblades.
I heard these voices are kind of handy. They say like, "Watch out" whenever I get chinned.
Yep, great.
Right, he's down. I need to do that. What they called? I don't know. Like parry breakers or whatever.
Yeah. Shield breaker.
Yeah, yeah, that was canny. Oh. So up this hill, I guess.
Running up the hill.
Aye, and this should.
I just love the lack of UI on this game as well.
Yes, I
it's
think-
all just the game.
Well, even the opening credits weren't like
And all his sons and
overlays.
grandsons were dark
they were like sitting in the environment. So even when they had to give us some text to read, they were like, it exists in the world
came from the ice.
in a sort of augmented reality sort of way.
He was like a man.
Don't know why I'm looking at. We're not listening to it.
His son bore
Oh, he's still
Pretty
talking.
impressed
So
with
it's
this.
fine.
giant to be his wife,
Yeah.
and they had 3 sons.
No, it's a.
Odin was
Yeah, you were right, Archie. It's
the
a.
Northmen.
It's an excellent looking game, and
gods.
I'll be looking forward to getting more out of the experience. Sort of like on me Todd. It feels like it's a level of intensity that I can actually play and enjoy. It's like the game is up in the ante, but it's not just like trying to make us cack me pants like all those games we played over
Yeah.
Halloween were.
Loved one.
Yeah, it's not relying. To me, it never felt like it was relying on like cheap jump scares or anything like that in order to
Yeah.
kind of make you go like, oh. But
You're like, what, Archie?
but you know, like just to give you that like,
Changes
oh, I'm scared, or anything like similar to that. It's actually just relying on like good storytelling. and pacing it well.
Yeah. Oh no.
Exile makes sense when you realize
Excellent crack on.
that you
I think we'll leave it at there before we do too much of the game. I think if people are wanting to pick up a game and have the machine to run it, it's not like it doesn't. I mean, it's a couple of years old now. You don't need an absolute beast of a machine to run it, but it is well and above the minimum specs of most of the games we play on these.
Yes.
It is on PS4 and Xbox as well, and it might
Switch.
even be on Switch.
It is on Switch.
Yeah, so you can get it pretty much anywhere, really. So,
And I picked up this copy on the cheap. This was I think this cost me like £7, so it's well worth £7. It's even if you said it is rather short in its overall gameplay.
yeah, that's one thing I'll add as well. Actually, before we close this off, like this game didn't come out at £45 retail price either. They got it like a £50 as it usually is. They discounted this down to like 35 or something, which is still a canny bit of money in the grand scheme of things. But if they're not even selling it at the proper the
Full price of game.
the full AAA price or anything, they're giving you a little bit of a discount, and it might have even been cheaper than that. And I don't know, I just what a
good
cool
bunch of
project
people.
this was. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, with that, we'll say you know where to find us. We're Indie Bandits on all the social medias, and the Indie Bandits on Instagram, because some bastard got there first. Also, we're on Discord, so rather than give you a random link for that, you can find that on most of our social media profiles. Come hang out with us, chat about indie games, and if there's anything else you'd like to add, lads.
No, that's it from me, I think.
I think that's it from me, Paul.
Excellent.
Cool.
Well, cheers to indie games, and we'll see you next time.
Ta-ra.
In a bit.
Ta-ra.
Bye bye.